All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're tackling something huge: how CPA firms can actually reinvent themselves for the next decade. And I'm not talking about just making a few small changes. We're talking about a complete overhaul of how firms operate.
So let me just ask you this. Picture it. It's 5 years from now. Which CPA firms are absolutely crushing it? Who are the leaders? The answer might not be what you think.
Because here's the secret: the firms that win aren't the ones who just hired more and more people. No way. The winners are the ones who completely re architected their entire business from the ground up. It's a total shift from brute force to just smart design. So here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we'll take a quick peek into the future, into 2029. Then we'll cover the four big forces driving all this change. After that, we'll introduce this thing called the fractal model, talk about how you can build it, and then wrap up with a step-by-step roadmap to get you there.
Okay, first up, why is all this change even necessary? Well, the traditional CPA firm model is getting squeezed. It's under some serious pressure because clients today expect so much more than just a report on what happened last month. They want speed, they want real-time insights, they want a strategic partner.
And that pressure is coming from four massive shifts. You could almost think of them like tectonic plates moving under the entire industry. These aren't just little trends. These are powerful forces that are making the old way of doing things, well, obsolete.
Force number one, and this one's a big one that I bet a lot of you are feeling right now: talent compression. Basically, there's a huge talent crunch.
It's kind of the perfect storm, right? You've got the seasoned pros retiring, and at the same time, fewer new grads are coming into public accounting to replace them. And what happens when demand is high and supply is low? Yep, compensation costs go through the roof. Just throwing more money at people isn't going to fix the root problem. The only real solution is to get smarter with how you leverage the talent you do have.
But hey, it's not just a staffing problem. The clients, oh boy, the clients themselves have changed. What they expect from you now is worlds apart from what they wanted even 5 years ago. The days of just dropping off the numbers are long gone.
They don't just want a report of what happened last month. That's ancient history to them. They're living in real time, looking at live dashboards, and they need you to be right there with them. That whole month-end lag thing, it's just not acceptable anymore. They need you to be proactive, to help them plan for different scenarios, to be a true advisor.
All right, force number three, automation. And listen, we're not talking about some sci-fi future here. This stuff, AI, machine learning, it's here now. It's becoming a standard part of the toolkit.
And what this does is it basically forces human accountants to move up the stack, you know? The machines can handle the repetitive, predictable stuff like reconciliations. That frees up the humans to focus on what we do best: judgment, strategy, and figuring out all the weird exceptions that a computer just can't handle.
And the last piece of this puzzle, the fourth force, is that going global is no longer some cool new strategy. Using remote teams and cross-border talent to get work done efficiently, it's quickly becoming the baseline. It's just table stakes. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. You can't just throw work to a team across the world and expect magic to happen. For this to be a strength and not a total disaster, you need rock-solid governance, bulletproof data security, and roles that are crystal clear, which actually leads us perfectly into the solution. So you've got all these massive pressures squeezing from every direction. What's the way out? Well, it's called the resilient fractal model. This is the blueprint for a modern firm that's actually built to handle these challenges and scale like crazy. So what on earth is a fractal model? Think of a snowflake or a tree branch. It's a simple pattern that can repeat and grow outward over and over again without breaking. This design lets you decentralize safely, plugging in new teams or resources without collapsing the whole thing. It is the exact opposite of that old, rigid, top-heavy pyramid structure. It really breaks down into three simple layers. Layer one, that's your core strategy team, the onshore partners setting the vision and doing the final client reviews. Layer two is the management layer, kind of like the bridge. It's often a hybrid team that's all about governance, workflows, and quality control. And then you have layer three, the execution engine. This is your distributed or offshore team that just cranks through the high-volume delivery work. See how this directly answers those four forces we talked about? It's genius. So when you put them side by side, the difference is just night and day. The old monolithic model is fragile, it's rigid, it's a nightmare to scale. The fractal model, though, it's modular, it's resilient, and it is built to scale from day one. It's all about smart architecture, not just hiring more bodies.
Okay, so the model sounds great in theory, right? But how do you actually start building it? Well, it's not as simple as just redrawing the org chart. You've got some really key strategic decisions to make.
And these are the big questions you're going to have to answer for your firm. Things like, when do you split the manager and controller roles to stop bottlenecks? What specific work is safe to send offshore? Do you white label those offshore services so it's seamless for the client? And how do you use global teams to handle big surges, like during audit season, without quality taking a nosedive?
Now, I know this can sound like a massive, overwhelming project, but the good news is you don't have to do it all at once. Let's walk through a practical, phased roadmap that makes this transformation feel, actually achievable. It's a step-by-step process. First, you gotta know where you are. That means a full audit of your current workflows. Then, you start small. Pilot an offshore team with something simple, like AP/AR. Once you've got that running smoothly, you focus on strengthening your onshore management layer. Then you can try out a white label model with a client you trust, expand to other areas, and, this is the most important part, you constantly monitor and adapt. It's an evolution, not a one-and-done revolution.
And this really brings us to the core message, which is summed up perfectly in this quote. The future isn't about having the biggest headcount. It belongs to the firms that have truly mastered architecture, leverage, and resilience.
So I'll leave you with this one final thought, a question to really take back to your team. Look at your own firm, honestly. Is it just built to survive the next year or two? Or is it truly architected to lead the entire industry for the next decade?